Hello and welcome to Boston Praise Radio TV. I'm Julisa.
And I'm Layla.
And today we'll be talking about drugs and how it affects the mind and why people get addicted to it, and as well as a psychology experiment called the Bobo effect. The Bobo experiment, sorry. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm gonna explain. We'll tell you some reasons why people get into drugs. So we have trauma, peer pressure, neglection, curiosity and experimentation, stress, mental health issues, physical health issues. It could be schoolwork or work. We have family history and genetics, pleasure, money issues, and self-medication. So those are a lot of the reasons why people get into drugs and start to get addicted. Okay, so drugs interfere with like your neurons, and they tend to send and receive like signals because of your neurotransmitters in your brain, and then that kind of makes the drug use, that kind of causes the addiction of drug use and makes your brain go all wobbly because you're losing cells in general when you're doing drugs. And then when you keep doing drugs, your brain is going to start getting wired to repeat the same cycle over and over. And then you're going to feel motivated to do them over and over again. And then that's just going to make the drug use even worse. And a lot of people think that drug use is an addiction, but it's actually a disease, like if you really think about it, because your brain and behavior is changing because of the drugs. You can't resist it. Like, it's something that is actually common, and it's hard to resist drugs when you're on them. And no matter how badly you want to get off of it, if you keep using over and over, it's going to get harder and harder to do it, because your dopamine levels are increasing and your brain connections are being rewired. And then it's just a lot of stuff going on in your brain that it shouldn't be normal. And also, drugs do have a long-lasting change after you're done using. Like, even if you decide to be sober, you're still going to have those effects of the drugs. And I actually wrote down some of the effects. Withdrawals, yeah. I wrote down some of the effects we use National Institute on Drug Abuse. So one is some symptoms of drug abuse after a long-time effect is feeling that you have to use a drug regularly or daily, or even several times a day. So even if you're sober and you're still gonna have that urge to want to do it over and over. Then you're gonna have intense urges or thoughts about doing things, and also going back on drugs as well. You're gonna start spending money constantly over and over and over on drugs or just other stuff, because you're gonna want to change your mind about it. You're gonna try to get your mind off of it. And then also, if you're still on drugs, a long-term effect is you're going to start taking larger and larger amounts, causing more overdoses. So those are some of the effects on drug use. Anything to add?
No, what you said, yeah, I agree with. And drugs and alcohol affect the dopamine level in your brain, which causes repeated use and lead to addiction. And you can like get addiction not just by using it also, but like family issues and like peers, like your friends or whatever using it, and like problematic lifestyle, and but there's many reasons why people like do it, because just bad stuff that's going on with their lives. But yeah.
So what do you think, like, Boston, there is a lot of drug addicts and stuff you see. What do you think? Like, when you see them, like, what do you think? Like, what automatically thinks? Do you, like, feel bad? Do you just want to help them? Like, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, I feel bad, but you can't really help somebody who doesn't want to be helped. So, if they don't want the help, then you can't really do anything.
Well, how do you know they don't want to be helped?
Because they're still on the drugs.
But, like, they could not have resources.
They have plenty of resources, I think. It's just the city of Boston, like, there's multiple shelters that they can go to. They just don't want to go, or like they don't want to stay there. They want to go back to the streets because that's where the drugs are at and where all their friends are at. So they don't want to stay there where they can get sober and stuff. And people do go to rehab, but like they relapse and go back to old patterns.
Yeah.
So it's like it is a lack on the city's part, but also like they need to want the help as well.
Yeah. And I feel like though, it is, like I said, it's harder. I feel like once you're used to, like, if drugs are your daily routine and you're used to it, it's gonna be harder to feed off of it and off of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like also if someone would ever do drugs around me, like, or if I knew someone who's a drug addict, I'm gonna get them support, or at least like family support to help them. Like, I feel like a lot of, I don't know about it or not, but I feel like a lot of families, like when they see someone in their family being a drug addict, they kind of give up on them and let them leave
sometimes because of the withdrawal symptoms that
Mm-hmm.
you said. Like, nobody really wants to be around somebody like that, because it's hard to see it in your family, and like there's only like so much you can do. So but yeah.
So what was the thing, this study that you said? What's it called?
It's called the Bobo doll experiment. It was in, some people might know this because when my professor taught this, she said that it was like popular, but it was made in it was studied in 1961 throughout the in the 60s, but the person who started this, I forget his name. Hold on, I have everything on my phone because I didn't feel like writing it down, but I think his name, I just had it. Yeah, Albert Bandura. So he did it at Stanford University, which I'm guessing is a popular school to like do like psychology experiments, just from what I've seen. But basically what it is, it was like a experiment seeing if kids would copy the behaviors that an adult would do. Like aggressive behaviors towards a doll, and seeing if kids would copy the same thing that they're doing. And the experiment proved that children can learn through observation and later imitating same behaviors with a combination of environmental and cognitive processes. So I saw a video earlier on YouTube, and it said what kids see they'll do. It's like the saying, like, monkey see, monkey do. Yeah. So, like, if kids, and plus they're young, so they're still figuring life out. But, so if they see you doing something, they're going to copy that.
And it's also a lot of peer pressure as well. Like,
I guess, but, like, they're kids. I'm talking about, like, little kids.
Little kids.
Yeah,
okay.
Little kids. I was going to say that you see that a lot in, like, preschools. Like, if, like, there's a kid who's acting out or, like, beating on the other kids, it's because it's going on at home, and they're mimicking the same stuff.
And those kids want to do it too.
Yeah, and they think it's okay. So, but yeah, a debate was going on in the 60s regarding the ways in which genetics, environmental factors, and social learning shaped a child's development. And the debate still lingers and is commonly referred as to nature versus nurture. So nature, like your environment, and nurture, how you're brought up or how you're raised as a kid. But yeah, it also, like, I heard that this study is also like commonly connected with like video games, like harsh video games. If like a kid is playing a harsh video game, then he's gonna want to like act out those things that he sees in the videos in the games. So.
Yeah, when you see the games, I was thinking of GTA. Like, I hear a lot of kids saying like, "Oh, I'll do this to you" in GTA. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like those games don't really. I feel like those games, they could be fun to kids, but I think those games don't really help the cases with like gang relations and
I think it does like more harm than good. It's like the same thing with the drugs. Like, you see somebody doing drugs and you're gonna want to do it.
It's like those games are like teaching kids the wrong thing. Like, I feel like, actually, I know a couple people who have their license, right? Mm-hmm. And they drive like, our generation, they try to drive fast and do what they want to do.
Try to drive fast.
So they like to say, I'm gonna drive like GTA, where you just like swerve between cars and hit cars. So I feel like those type of games do influence, especially little kids, because there's a lot of stuff about robbing people and drugs and shooting people and stuff, and then that makes kids want to mimic that at school. So I agree, right there. Anyways, back to the drug thing. I just feel like some people, I kind of disagree with you saying people don't want help, because it's actually, I feel like some people try to get help, but it's just like they don't have the resources for it. I feel like you could try to get help. You could say you want to get help, but it could be hard for you. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like if no one's in their corner, they're not gonna. I feel like no one's pushing them to say, stop doing drugs, stop doing this. If they're around, like for example, people on Mass Ave, they're around drug addicts all day, just on the street. You know, you have friends you can walk up to and say, "Can you give me this? I don't have. Can you just have some of this drug? Can I have some of this?" So it's like you're around people constantly doing drugs. You're not gonna want to be better. You're gonna have, if you want to be better, you're gonna have to go to a different place. You're gonna have to try to find one person or a couple people in your circle to help you want to do better, and then you're gonna have to take those steps after. But it all depends on like people who are trying to encourage the person to get off the drug. I feel like a lot of people listen to trusted people, if that makes sense. Like if I need advice, I'm gonna go to someone I trust, and I'm gonna try to listen to the advice, take all I can. So I feel like I disagree with you on that. I feel like they just don't have the proper resources because they could just be alone. That's just me.
Yeah, it depends on who you surround yourself with, but yeah.
Anything you like to add?
So to comment on individuals using drugs, as has been said, there's many reasons why people do it, but also when people are addicted to drugs, it's the circle that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
So if they truly want help, they have to remove themselves from that circle. They can't continue to surround themselves with those that they know use drugs. So basically, they have to find a whole set of new friends.
But the thing is, a lot of people, like a lot of teenagers, I'm not going to say little kids, a lot of teenagers that start doing drugs is because one of their friends peer pressure, I don't say peer pressure them, but they're like saying, do it, stop, everyone's doing it. And those be the kids that need the most help at the end because, like, you know? So I feel like if someone in your friend group is peer pressuring you, I would automatically remove myself. But yeah, I agree. I think they should find new friends if their friends are encouraging them to do drugs, you know?
Right. And those who do follow their friends and end up using drugs in their teenagers, that's when parents come into play. That's when parents need to put their feet down and intervene and try to help their child.
But I think a lot of parents, I don't know what they think, but I feel like a lot of parents don't really take initiative to know if their kid is smoking weed or doing stuff or doing drugs. Like, you can, because I feel like they're automatically going to assume that the kid's not. Like, I know a lot of kids who smoke and stuff, but it's like, I don't think their parents really, like, they don't take the initiative to know that they're doing that. You know, I feel like a lot of parents just assume that they're, like, not going to do that as a teenager when it's actually more common now, you know. I think parents need to intervene more.
Correct. Parents do need to intervene, which means getting in their children's business, in their teenagers. If you got to go and search that room or check your child's bag or teenager's bag, then you need to do that. That's the only way that you can truly support your children, your teenager, even young adults. You as a parent, or even if you were a friend, you have to be involved. But being involved sometimes means that you have to do a little more work than maybe you intended or even want to do. But as a parent, it's your responsibility to intervene, to say this is right or this is wrong, that no, I'm not going to allow you to go out at 11 o'clock at night so you can hang with your friends. What's happening at 11 o'clock at night? Nothing good. When you're a teenager, there's no reason for you to be out that late. So a lot of it does lie on the adult that teenager is with. If you allow your child or your teenager to run wild and do whatever they want, however they want to do it, that is exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to do whatever they want, however they want, and that's where the disrespect comes in with the kid, a kid as well as a teenager. They don't have respect for their parents, but it's because the parents have shown them that it's okay to
Right.
do what you do and
Yeah.
how you do it. That
Yeah, I
basically
agree.
it doesn't matter.
I agree. I feel like a lot of parents don't really even ask their kids about certain stuff. I feel like they brush certain stuff off. Like I agree. I feel like they don't have rules and regulations in their house that make sure the kid is okay and stuff. A lot of parents just brush off the fact that their kid's doing something, you know? Like I feel like any parent with the right mind, knowing that we're teenagers, they're going to be exposed to stuff in high school. They're going to be exposed to stuff. And I feel like a lot of people think that their kid is innocent and stuff. I agree. Is there anything you like to add?
Nothing else in
No.
regards to the drug use
No.
No.
and peer pressure. So, okay, I have a question for both of you. What if your circle of friends, one of your friends decided or was using drugs? What would you do to try to help them? And or would you try to help them, or would you just act like nothing's going on?
I feel like can I know what drug it would be? Would it be like a hard drug, like the stuff they do and stuff, like fentanyl and stuff?
Just
a
any
drug,
type
a drug is a drug. So
Right.
for me, I would say any drug
Any
that
drug?
they should not be doing it. You should not
Okay,
be
any
doing
drug
drugs.
that's like actually gonna get them like messed up. Like I'm actually gonna I'm gonna say something to them. I'm gonna make sure they go on the right track. I don't want like you're really my friend. I don't really call people my friend. I have associates because a friend is something different. But I feel like if you're really my friend and I really care about you, I'm not gonna let you do that. I'm not gonna let you do that and ruin your life. I'm probably if people might call me a snitch, but I'd probably if you're going in too deep, I'm gonna tell your parent. I'm gonna tell them like. Because I don't want to see my friend like that. I don't want to see anyone close to me like that on drugs. So I'm gonna first try to tell them to stop. If they're not listening, then I'm gonna have to tell their parent. That's just me. Because I don't want my friend going down a path like that, like someone I care about.
I mean, my friends are older, like they're actual adults, but I would just pray for them honestly and like tell them like I mean, they should know like that is wrong anyway, but I don't know. I would just tell them, encourage them and tell them to stop and give them real reasons on why it's not good. But yeah.
Yeah. But you can't make someone do something that they don't want to do. You can try.
Right. So, if this was your friend and they decided to ignore your warning, your support, what steps would you take? Would you continue to surround yourself with that individual, or would you walk away from them?
I would probably. It's kind of tricky because I've been friends with my friends
Yeah,
like,
that's what
for
I'm saying.
a long
Like
time.
I can't. Yeah, like this.
But
is what
like
I'm
if
saying.
it's like getting really bad, like I'm gonna be there to support them as best as I can. But if they're like, oh, I don't want the support anymore, then like I'll just walk away. I don't like giving up on people because it's just I don't think it's the right
I
thing
don't
to
say
do.
like I'll stop being friends with them, but I might distance myself until they can get their life
yeah
back on track.
yeah
Like I wouldn't stop being friends with them, but I would definitely like if it's getting to a point where it's like you're actually like an addict, like I would probably distance myself for a little bit. If you're not listening to me, I'm trying to give you advice, I'm trying to give you support, and you're not listening, I'm gonna distance myself. I wouldn't like stop being friends with them because you never know, your life could change. You could turn it around one day if you really decide to. But I might walk away for a little bit just to like I don't like be seeing that. I don't like seeing people like that. Even like crack kids on the street, I don't like seeing it. Like it's just like I don't know.
yeah
And as one of you indicated that you would tell the parent, how long would you wait though? How long would you wait? Because
I don't know. I don't want to get my friend in trouble. I don't know how long I'll wait. I feel like if my friend decides to do like a drug, that's not good for you, right? And they do it once or twice. I might tell them once or twice, maybe 3 times. I'm going to tell them, stop. But I see if they're constantly doing it, I'm going to tell their parent. Like, if I see you're doing it every day or you're just trying to, like, you're doing it every other day a lot or doing it multiple times a day, I'm going to tell. But it's like, maybe the first time I'm going to try to give him advice to stop. Second time, I'm still going to try to give him advice. Maybe a third time, but if after that, I'm going to have to. Because, like, I don't want to see my friend like that.
So what happened? It's one thing for your friend to do it in your presence, but how are you going to know
how they're doing
that they're, whether they're using or if they stop using, if they're not doing it in front of you?
I don't know.
I mean, can't you tell when someone's high or not? Like, if, like she said, if they're constantly doing it, then they're going to be high all the time, no?
So, people's tolerance is
it's
different. So, someone could seem okay while they're around
but
you,
they're really,
but that high from whatever pill or drug they have
in your
taken
head.
hasn't kicked in yet.
I think
So
they
you
kicked in.
wouldn't necessarily know.
Either have to kick in, or they probably haven't, like, they're not showing that they feel it. They're probably just, like, kind of calm down. So you wouldn't know. I don't know. But I feel like, I don't know. I don't know if they would do it. But I would just try to make sure. Like, I would probably check on my friend to make sure they're not doing it all the time. I would probably, like, call them and see what they're doing. I would try to check in on them just to make sure. But I don't know what I would do if they were doing it behind my back. Because I'm not there to see.
Yeah, you can't know what they're doing behind your back unless they're, like, telling you, but...
And also, when it comes to support, there is a lot of help out there.
Right.
However, not all addicts are aware of the help, where to go, and even how to get the help. So, it's never a situation where people don't want help. It's kind of, it's a twofold. You know, they want help, but they're struggling. You know, it's a tug of war.
Yeah.
That want and that desire for that drug is very strong. And the drug is winning, because however long they've been using, until they get to a point where they're sick and tired of being in that state of mind, and they try to push and force themselves to go in and seek that out. Because yes, people go into programs and they even succeed in that program, but unfortunately once they get out,
they face the real world, and they,
yep, they're in the real world, and then but also they have a tendency to go back around the same individuals where they were getting high previously, which is not good.
I feel like that's always the cycle. Like, even not with just drug use, but like, if like even when you're, say, someone gets out of jail, they go around the same crowd that got them in there in the first place. And even like other stuff, people tend to go around stuff that gets them in trouble in the first place. I don't know why people tend to do that.
Because it's all they know, so they feel like anything else that's new or uncomfortable with them, they're not going to want to do it because they're used to what they're used to.
Yeah.
So, what type of advice do you think you could give your friend other than saying stop?
I'd say it's not good for you. Like, I just say it's not good for you. I don't want to see you go down the wrong path, because, like, I don't want to see that. And I'll explain to them, like, in a short way on, like, why it's not good for you, like what we have now, like what it does to the brain and stuff, and like, and how, like, it could have long lasting stuff happening to you. That's what I would explain.
I feel like that's the same as saying no, though. Like, telling them to not do it. Like, they're not really going to listen if they're really into it.
I don't know. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I don't know if they're not. I wouldn't say they're not listening.
Yeah. I wouldn't say they're not listening, but they're probably just, like, in their own world. Like, I wouldn't say they're not listening, but they're probably just not ready to take the advice, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to,
it's hard when it's someone you love rather than it's someone then you don't know.
But even if you don't know them, I mean, as you said, when you see the individuals out there and they're so strung out.
Mhm.
It's extremely sad. But again, where do they go for help? Um, because another problem with addicts is some of the help, at least in Boston, and I've seen this is that they will house all the drug addicts and alcoholics, whatever their issue is. They're all living together.
Yeah.
So how are you helping them? Yes, you
Yeah.
gave them a place to
Just-
live,
Yeah. And places to
but
stay.
they're still
And they're still around each other high, and they're all still. If someone gets a new drug, oh, look what I got. Now everyone's gonna want to do it.
exactly
Like you're like enabling.
right. So that's also a downfall of the city. They need to investigate these housings where they're housing the people, and there's supposed to be people who are looking after the individuals. They need to be fired. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They need to be fired. And no, they need to be fired, and you need to get someone in there who's not going to let them get over, who's not going to allow them to keep getting high. At
Yeah.
least try to help them. I feel
Right.
like they're not truly helping, because the people who work there, unfortunately, they get paid. They get paid not to tell that the people in the building are using drugs. And sometimes the people who work there, unfortunately, they're doing the same thing.
Things, yeah.
That-
Because they're around it too. Like even if not doing drugs, they're around it, so you might get influenced to do it a little bit too. You know.
Yeah, depends on the person. You have to really want to. You have to really want to help these individuals and not fall into their trap, because a drug addict is going to lie. They
Right.
will lie.
They do anything for
and
money.
say all kind of things to get what they want.
Yeah.
They'll give you all kinds of sob stories that are not true, but they're gonna make it sound true
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because they're
They're
looking
for one
to-
thing.
for one thing. So you have to be able to identify or know the truth from a lie. And some people don't, even though they're supposed to know or be able to comprehend that that's what's taking place. It's not always the issue.
Yeah.
So it is hard. It's a tough topic, a very sad topic, because of the world we live in today, and so many people are addicted to drugs, and you can't escape it no matter where you go. Everywhere you go, every corner you turn, you see someone out that's strung out. So I don't know what the solution is, but a lot of help is needed, and it's a disease, but their mental state is not in the right place either. So we need help. The people need help, so that we don't have so many people out there in the streets who are addicted to drugs. But it also falls on the doctors who prescribe the medicine. Because if you know someone is addicted to drugs,
you can't.
why are you prescribing them an opioid?
Yeah.
Why are you prescribing that
Yeah.
when you know they're addicted to that? That's something they should.
Because people do get addicted to like off the counter pharmacy drugs and stuff.
Right, because they abuse it. But once the doctor knows that they're abusing it,
Why do you keep giving it to them?
right? Why are you prescribing that? You shouldn't continue to prescribe that to that patient when you know this is what they're doing with it.
Yeah. Like I've seen that, like even like I've seen people on shows obviously, but I've even heard that like even pain meds get addictive. Like a lot of the medication that people take gets addictive. Even saline spray, like the ones for your nose if they're stuffy, those are addictive too. Like when you start, if you use them every day or every other day, you can start getting addicted to that. Like I think I learned about that in health classes. So a lot of stuff in the pharmacy isn't as good either.
Right. Well, yeah. I think it's an individual, like anything, it's an individual choice.
Right.
You have to be aware of what you're doing, how you're doing it, and why you're doing it as an individual, because the responsibility lies on you as well. So you have to make that conscious choice that, if you're prescribed something, to use it as directed and not abuse it. Not to take, if the doctor says take one and you're taking two, and that's what happens with the pain meds. They're prescribed it, but then they take one or two or take it sooner than they're supposed to. So they run out and then they want more. And if they can't get it from their doctor, that's when they start going elsewhere to try to get pills to meet that pain that they're saying that they're having.
Yeah.
Because at some point that pain is gone, but they're still using the drug.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but it happens every day. Any last words from you ladies?
No, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in Tuesday at 12 o'clock. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.